Hey world, check out this pattern. It's got panels and this funky cup thing that's happening up here. So I think it's best to use our contour block, and so let's get started. Here are our contour blocks. I think I'm going to do the back just to get it out of the way. It's something super simple. I'm going to, with my plus anchor point, and then direct select, I'm going to get rid of those sections there. And then I think same thing here. I want an anchor point on the pink line. That's my new dart legs for the Contour Bodice. And click drag, get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of all of this because I don't really need it. Okay, good. So I'm going to get rid of that one as well. Oops, not the whole thing. I want to make sure that I don't have any points floating in space. I need the snipping tool to snip apart my dart. And then I need to add an anchor point here, snip it there. Cool, okay. So these patterns are super simple. They will be flared eventually, but right now I just want to get them out of my way. Plain old princess-esque seams. Make sure that these anchors are overlapping before I connect them. And now I can take this whole shape and nudge it to the side. And that way I can connect all of this. Dum-de-dum. And now we'll do the same thing over here. I just want to make sure that all these things are connected and overlapped nicely. Some of them are going to be a little wonky, but not a huge deal. Last week I mentioned that I was going to start selling my patterns, which I think I still intend to do that. However, I accepted a position at a different company, and so now I don't have as much free time to get those patterns ready to sell. So I will still do that. I think I might start working on that tomorrow, but for now it's a little bit stalled. Okay, so those are your back patterns. They're just two princess seams. We're going to add a bunch of flare because if you look real close, tons of flare. Big fluffy dress. Okay, now the hard part. Well, not the hard part, now the complicated part. I think probably what's best to do for all of this, just because this is like a nightmare to cut apart, I'm going to add a new layer and lock the old layer, and then I'm going to draw over these pattern pieces to get the shapes. So I want to make sure that I have my bust dart reduction, just because I need this to fit incredibly well. So I'm using the pen tool and just hovering over the anchors that I need, and then drawing this new shape directly over what I've already planned. So let's make this a color so we can see it. I guess let's do red. Red's easy to see. Kind of. Okay. So there's that. And then because this goes straight across the bust line, that's what this guideline here is for, I am going to draw the second half of this princess pattern here from here over. So that looks like this. And again, making sure that I'm following all of my contour bodice lines. Where's that anchor? Oh, there it is. I need the hip anchor so I can get the hip curve. Actually, I don't because I'll get rid of it once I do the flare, but I like having it just for now. And I'm not putting these anchor points exactly on the right spot for now because I didn't move my other pattern piece and I don't want to lose any of those anchors or connect any of them awkwardly. So that's why these things are not quite lining up to where they should. But that way I can finish the shape and then click and drag them over so that they do match. And this way, sorry for that sound, all of these will match up like they are supposed to. All right, so that's that for now. Let's grab, I want to fix this one just so that it's up to here. Yes, good enough. All right, now we have to figure out a plan for this funky business. I have a little guideline here. It's going to have to change because of the way that the shape is going to work. I think in theory you could do one with a lot less cup shaping, but it's probably best to have this cup shaping. This dress would absolutely need a bustier or a corselet, whatever you want to call it, underneath here for this structure because this is very well fitted and completely strapless. So you could do without your bust darts up here, your bust contour lines, but it's best to start at least to look at the shaping as far as it goes with what's here. So I'm going to start that. Actually, first I'm going to move my lower princess patterns out of the way, which is going to look a little confusing. Just ignore it. We're only working from our bust level up for now. So I am copying my anchors. This one I want to go straight up, and then the Alt key moves the handle so I can do a separate handle, which is great. I think for now, let's just put this here. I'm gonna have to cut apart all of this to make this shape how I want it to look. But for now, I just want to get the basic outline. Okay, so this is the basic shape, which I think is kind of ugly looking, but I suppose really you could just finish it there and be done with it. I want to see if I can add a little more of this shaping here, so let's do that. I don't super care that this doesn't match that guideline all that well. I suppose if I just sort of, oh, there we go, that's a little better. And then what do I want to do now? Okay, let's add anchor points. I'm just going to add like 3 for each one of these little slices, and then drag, well, I'll turn that one into a corner so that it's a sharp point, and then drag these all to the bust line. I'm going to add another one here. I don't think it's going to be necessary, but I want to see what it looks like. And then I'm just going to make sure that all of these match, so continuing doing that again. And even though I needed this for something else, it's okay. Scoot that down. I'm directing all of this toward the bust apex because I want to make sure that all of this reduction in fullness stems from where you put your dart, basically. Doing this again. There is a chance that I'm going to hate this as soon as I see it, but we'll just have to figure it out. It's going to look really wonky, and I don't know if I can make a cup to look nice with all of this excess needing to be removed, but I will make it work somehow. Last one. Make it a corner again. This is just to plot out my points first because there's so much going on the screen that I want to be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to move some stuff around. I want these to match better. They're probably going to need to change a bunch once I cut it all apart, but for now, I want this one to be not like that. Okay, Control Z. Alt to move just the handle, and then move it over. Okay. Now at least we have the shape. I'm going to make that go away for now. So now we can see it's a lot like a lot of the other contours that I've done. And actually, I was worried a second ago, but now looking at it this way, it's going to be fine. What I need to do is put a guideline at our bust apex and a crosshair at that bust apex as well, just so I know where all these go, because I have to scoot them all apart to cut them all apart, which is super annoying. So I guess we'll do C. The C tool is the snip tool, and then I can grab each separate anchor point here. And since I know that all these are just directed to this cross, it'll be fine. I don't mind moving these out of the way, even though their placement is imperative to the fit. But now we have a bunch of separate pieces, which is great. So I'm just re-angling all of these. When I do my click and rotate, my favorite little rotate tool, I'll just make sure to use the center point here as the rotation anchor. I don't know, there's probably a name for that. I just don't know what to call it, but so I don't mind that these are all overlapped. All right, so now with the regular selection tool, hit V, hit R, and then rotate until these close. And I don't know if I need them to overlap. You know, it couldn't hurt. It really couldn't hurt, or at least that one. Let's grab this guy. I don't like that much overlap, so I'm going to leave these two just sort of touching up here. I want this to scoot over. So that's part of what's going to need to change in the shaping, which is fine. Let's grab both of these now. Rotate them both towards that one. And then, let's see, I don't mind the shape as it is right now. I think I'm going to like split the difference between these two. So I'm going to rotate this half just to about the middle of, like there-ish. And then I'll take these three and then do that the same over here. And I don't need to deal with all that overlap. I'm not worried about it. But that's basically our center front panel, which I like. So it's got curve down here to accommodate for the bust fullness, and then the under pattern for the princess seam has curve there to also accommodate for bust fullness. But now I can get rid of all of these interior lines that I don't need, and I can reconnect. So a lot of the times when I do this, also there's like 1,000 extra points floating in space now. I'm just going to draw a new line that approximates what we're seeing here. And then I will use that line as my new top line. So that's a little, that's gross. That's a little better. Okay, I need to make this a different color so I can see it better. Let's make it black. And I'm just going to drag my anchors to fit this as best I can, because I do like the shape that I had before, but because I had to cut it all apart, it got a little weird. For this, it was super important that the center front was above the bust level, just because that's the way it looks in the illustration, which is gone. Hold on, there it is. So bust, this is like, that's where your nipples would be. This distance from here to there looks about 1.5 inches, so that's just how I drafted that. That's what this measurement here, from here to there is. So let's see, I like that. And I don't mind any of this. I think I want to scoot this over though, just a little bit. That's perfect. Okay. I enjoy that line, the black line as it is. And now what I'm going to do for this, just to get rid of all this extra stuff, I'm going to cut here, and I'm going to cut there. And so now I can grab the bottom of this, the bottom of that, and the black line, nudge those up and out of the way. And now I don't have to deal with all those points floating in space that drive me bonkers when I try to join things. So now I can click and drag and join. That one's already joined. Click and drag and join those. Perfect. All of this was just the top part of that. That can just go away. It's probably a good idea to turn these corners into curves, but not like that. Oh, because those need to be joined as well. So click, drag, and join those. And now is it 1 point or 2? Okay, it's 1. Control Z, because I didn't want to lose that spot. Now we convert our corners to some smooth curves. Because people are not square. It does not work to sew straight lines and hard corners on human bodies. At least not well. So there's another curve there. Brilliant. I'm going to do the same to these points. I don't love it. Let me see if I can play with the handles to see if this is a little bit better. I still don't love it. Well, all right. They'll smooth out when it's sewn. I'm not going to worry about it now. But here's another really good way to tell all of that excess from the contour pattern is now in these funky dart things, kind of, in these panels. So all of that extra space, let me nudge these patterns up, was removed from here and here. So this should fit fairly well once it's actually all together. Something I just forgot, and I can show you again. This upper cup portion thingy is cut on the fold. There's no seam in the center. So before I get to going to doing everything else I do with patterns, I want to grab this. We're going to line it up to our guideline that's here. And I want to transform, reflect vertically, and copy it. And then I get a same, exact copy. Funky looking pattern piece, but I think it'll end up looking really nice once it's all sewn. I'm deleting the interior lines that were there that don't need to be there. Click, drag, and join my points. Click, drag, and join my points. Brilliant, now it's a solid piece. Cool. See, and it looks like a bra, so I feel like that's gonna fit. Kind of looks like a pair of sunglasses as well. I dig it. All right, so now I'm gonna come back to this layer and grab, let's just grab our back pattern. Control X, and then Control V. No. Yes, Control V does work. I just was selected the wrong layer. Control V, there we are. Now we have all of our panels, which are great. Now the next thing to do is, I always forget that I should set this up before I start the video. So we need to circle 7.95 by 7.95. So that's our waist circumference. Of course, it's impossible to see red on gray. Let's do some chartreuse and make it a bigger stroke. Okay, a little bit better to see. And then for the length, let's go with 24 inches. So we're going to do for our circle, we're going to do a bigger circle and then add 48 inches. 48 plus 7.95. So that's 55.95. And that way we get our waist circumference plus 24 inches in either direction. Okay, lining that up to there, that up to there. Cool beans. And now my favorite way to make skirts happen, or dresses happen, whatever, flare. I need to make all of the strokes chartreuse so you can see them. Let's make them all 2 points. Much better. Okay. I need to, let's add, just for my I'm just going to add an anchor point here, right across from where the waistline was. Actually, it's not quite right across, but it's fairly close. I'm just going to leave it. Okay. And so I'm going to match this up to my guidelines. I have the guidelines locked right now, so they're not moving around, which is great. Super helpful for this. Okay, there's that one. Let's grab this. And the mouse cursor, whatever you call the thingy, turns white when you're holding an anchor point and it's hovering over another anchor point. Super duper handy. So like if I grab this anchor point and hover it over that one, turns white because they're matched. Or at least matched well enough that the program thinks that they are, you know, on top of each other. Sometimes it'll be like literally like a hair off, which is bothersome, but it's not a huge deal. Not for this. This is just the approximation of the sweep of the hem for this very flared, funky dress. Turns out my pattern was already a little bit longer than the circle, but that's okay. We're making a cute T-length. Is that T-length? I have no idea what that means, actually. Yeah, just a cute, hopefully knee-ish level. There was a cool website that I found that has like formulas for how to do, oh, get rid of the hip curve, don't need it, how to do, based on someone's height, the length of their skirt for different levels. I forget what it's called, but if you search like what's your skirt length in Google, you should be able to find it. And it's been super handy for all of this, trying to figure out how to make the right length of skirt. So I would highly recommend doing math like that, at least if you want to just get like I said before, an approximation of. Let's double check our sketch again. This is just fitted to the waist and then flared everything else. So there's a bunch of points in here I'm going to get rid of because the waistline's matched up to our inner circle here. We are going to subtract all of the lower dart legs. There we go. That's nice. Okay, all those are good. This is fine. The back is not going to be cut on fold because I need more flare. And actually, the front is not cut on fold either, is it? Sure not. So, we could add flare to the front. It might change the way that the whole dress hangs. You know what? I'm not concerned. The only thing stopping us from having the world's most flared skirt ever is the width of fabric available. Bridal fabrics, most likely 58, 60 inches. Whoa, this dress would be super cute as a sundress in like a light cotton, probably, and that you'd be more restricted because quilters' cottons are usually 45 inches wide, so you have to make sure that you're folded over, that your dress patterns are no wider than 22 inches, which can be a challenge, which will give you the full width of the fabric though. But pretend this is super wide fabric land. Yeah, all that looks great. Cool. Getting rid of our circle there, and then I think I'm going to do view guides, clear guides to get rid of them all, and then I need two more, one for our back, and this is just so I can realign them. Where do we start? There we go. There we go. I got some flare in the back, which is lovely. I am going to overlap. Whoops, I don't want to move that one. I want to move this one. Overlap our anchors and then rotate to match what would basically be the straight waistline. It's probably like that. They overlap a little bit like that. It's fine. So now those are our back patterns. Let's grab one for the front. I apologize if I'm moving really quickly. I wanted this video to go faster. So please, if you have any questions about what I've done here, drop me a comment, send me a message, let me know. I'm happy to help with anybody's patterning needs. If you want to make something exactly like this, which is a challenge, because I'm sure that not everybody has ever seen a dress like this, more or less. Who knows if anyone wants to wear a dress like this. Okay. See, I still hate these. And I think if I had done this differently, these curves would, I mean, no, because I want this to be more like that. Actually, you know what? That's not bad. Let's do both. I don't hate it, but I also don't love it. But I'm going to stop worrying about it. What happens if I turn that one into a curve? Oh, you know, see, that's even better. I don't mind this at all. We need that curve to accommodate for circular shaped bust, which usually they are. I'm going to grab all of the anchor points of the waist and see what happens when I curve those as well. Probably going to hate it. Okay, that one is probably fine. Actually, you know what? I'm not worried about that at all. They're a little curvy, which is a little strange to sew, but I think they look nice. Let's try that one. Ew. That one's bad. Let's not do that. That one's a little curve already. That one's got a little bit. I don't mind it. The only thing I want to change about the curve of this one is I want this to be straight up and down. So this is going to have a little bit of a sway to it, but I don't really mind that either. And that's it. Here are our patterns. Got front cut on fold, or top front cut on fold, and the rest of this not cut on fold. We're going to do object path, offset path, give me a 1/2 inch seam allowance, hit preview, boom, there it is. All of our patterns are complete. And we have ourselves a dress. So if you liked this video, hit subscribe, give me a like, ask me questions if you need. I know I went super fast. It's probably the shortest video so far. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great week.